Season 6 of Pastor Bob's Coffee Break coming up next. Having a little bit of HEADBANGERS brew this morning, obviously. What else would I drink? Having some Joe Bama, my favorite one. And we've got a lot of blends, as you've just seen, and I love that. Thank you, folks, for supporting us. You can go here, wearmetalwearfamily.com, and get coffee and our new mugs and posters and t-shirts and, oh my, lots of things. It all goes to help us help other people with trafficking ministries, with homeless, and all the things that we're involved with, and thank you for that. Well, here we are, a new year, 2025. And it just seems so strange to me, because when I go to write the date, I'm still writing 19. I know. That was 25 years ago that we had 1999, and then it changed to 20, and I'm still trying to get used to that. But to get used to 2025, it seems so strange. And, at 72 years old, I've lived a lot of these years. When you have to select your year, online, when you go in and ask for your birthday and you select the year and you scroll down to find your year, I just keep scrolling. 1952, that's when I was born. Yeah. So 2025. And a lot of times we approach the new year and we approach it as, the older we get, the less we want to have a resolution, because we're tired of those. There's so many things that we try to do and we can't, and just doesn't seem to work. But I'd like you to visualize with me what the year might look like if you had a New Year's revolution. In other words, if you decide that this is the year that you're going to get back on track, whatever it might be, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, whatever it might be, this is the year that you get back on track and get to be in a place where you feel like you're being productive and some things are beginning to happen. A revolution. I did probably one of the most important podcasts that I've ever done yesterday, a live broadcast. It was my broadcast on Sanctuary Live. If you didn't see it, can I suggest, folks, that you spend some time watching it? It's a long one. But I told my story. I told my story of getting rid of cancer and diabetes and arthritis. I told my story, I've just lost 140 pounds so far. I told my story on getting my energy level back, the most energy I've had in 35 years. Told my story on how well I'm sleeping now, how well I'm able to concentrate, and how much it's affected in the other areas of my life, emotional, mental, spiritual even. And I gave you a challenge, and I called it the Pastor Bob 90-Day Challenge, to try it with me, and gave you some keys to doing exactly what I did, things that work. And I'm not asking that you do a new fad diet. It's not that. Not asking that you do something that your body can't do. Folks, a lot of people, for instance, who are very overweight have really tried to lose. And they've been made to feel like it's their own fault. And yet, big pharma, big medical, big food, big government, big media, all of the things that are working against you these days are telling you it's your fault when they're making you addicts. And folks, whether you're struggling as a food addict or a drug addict or alcoholism or sex addict or whatever it might be, whatever your addictions are, there is hope. And we've been lied to about so many of these things. And I talked about that yesterday. I'm not going to repeat it all, but I want to encourage you to go and watch it if you haven't. Maybe even watch it a couple times. There's a free download on there that is 60 pages that will help you to just get started. There's a community to join that will encourage you to keep going. And I don't want to start out 2025 with you failing one more year. I don't want you to begin this year with health problems that you feel like you're just stuck with and you have to live with for the rest of your life, because you don't. And I don't want you to start the year continuing to be lied to that it's all your fault when it's not. And so folks, let's make this a better year. And then start out spiritually. You know, spending a little time in the morning with the Lord is a really great idea. And do what you can do. Some people start out and they go, okay, I'm going to spend an hour every morning with the Lord, and that lasts for maybe 3 days. If you can't do an hour, do 5 minutes. If you can't do 5 minutes, do 3 minutes. If you can't do 3 minutes, read a verse. You know, start with something. Start with something. Get something in your brain to begin to think about. And some of you start out with me every morning. I appreciate that. And I'll continue to do this. And, you know, I've been doing this podcast and also with another name, Pastor Bob Daly, before this. This is year number 14. We've been doing it for 14 years. Some of you have been with me for 14 years. Thank you. And we're going to do it 14 more and beyond that, I'm hoping. So we've got a lot to cover, and I promise you that we're going to spend our mornings, you know, seeking the Lord and talking about these kinds of things that are relevant. But believe me that out of my 50 plus years in broadcasting, my show yesterday was probably one of the most important shows I've ever done. There are things I've never talked about. There are answers for you that I think you can really get a hold of that will absolutely change your life. No money involved, just my heart to you and my heart for you to be whole and for you to start over and for you to feel vital once again. That's important. And so folks, nothing fancy today. Don't even have a scripture verse to give you. I could give you many of them, but the point is, let's start. Tomorrow we'll get a little back on track. We'll, you know, I'll have more of a subject. We'll have some scripture. We'll have all of that. But today I simply want to say, let's have a New Year's revolution in our lives. I'm ready for it too. I'm still on the journey, and I want you to join me in the journey. And folks, I'm looking forward to 2025. I'm looking forward to what God is about to do this year in the lives of many people around us as we get healthy, as we get vital, and as we begin once again to change the world for Jesus Christ. Folks, as always, don't forget you are blessed. So go and be a blessing.